Hello and welcome to the second episode of the OverREACting Podcast. I'm Josh, that's Sam, or as you know us, I guess HugKnuckles, HottSamn.
HottSamn.
I don't know exactly how you would know us, but it's week 2. We did a thing and we're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
We're doing it one more time,
yes.
Hopefully more than that. So how did you feel last week? How do you think it went?
Well, I thought it went really well. I went into it. I was pretty nervous, and
if y'all didn't watch last week's episode, we the first 2 weeks here, essentially, the first week I interviewed Sam, and this week she'll be interviewing me.
Yes.
So she was in the hot seat. She was the very first person in the hot seat.
And now you're gonna be in the hot seat today.
I don't know if I'm nervous. I don't think I'm nervous, but
well, the reason I was nervous was because I'm not really good with words, so explaining how I feel and whatnot.
Great to be a co-host in a podcast.
Yeah.
I co-host this podcast. Not great with words, though.
Well, that's what we do.
I talk on camera for a living. Not great at words.
That's true, though. It is true. I don't know why people watch me.
It is true.
But I think maybe I'm just my own worst critic kind of thing. I think I sound better looking back over the videos, than I do in the moment. What
you say is important, but you get jumbled up in the way that you say it.
Yeah.
You're very good at having an emotive response to something.
Right.
But you don't. You're not proper.
You should see me try to order fast food at McDonald's.
Cripple chickies. So we'll actually start with that story. Why not? So it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning. It was middle of the night. We randomly were going to McDonald's, which we haven't had fast food in weeks now. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Shout out.
So shout out to not McDonald's.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were in McDonald's, and for some reason, at the drive-thru, she cannot put together a coherent sentence. She asked what was on the chicken sandwiches, but she called it something weird the first time. But then when she went to order the crispy chicken sandwich, she's like, "I'll take 2 of the crippled chickies." She was like, crippled crispy chickles.
And I was laughing and trying to correct what I was saying, and I was trying so hard, and I could not say it.
I'm almost positive those people thought we were drunk or high or both, and I'm like,
I'm normal.
This
is me on a normal day.
This is a mishap. This is not due to an influence.
Well, I was just laughing trying to order, and the lady just says, "I can't hear you."
Well,
and I was like, okay.
This may be a good way to start this off. Maybe this will be fun. Tweet us at OVRR Podcast or at HugKnuckles and HottSamn, and let us know what is the weirdest thing that's happened to you at a fast food drive-thru in a fast food establishment. Because we have a couple more stories we can go over. Well, because the other story that I want to get to, we'll save your speed racer moment for the last one. But we used to do this thing where we would go through McDonald's and they would have a $1 drink, any size. So we'd always go just pick up a large drink, which also haven't had pop at all in 2018.
Yeah.
Cue celebration sound
shout
effect.
Out.
Yes, shout out to not
to
pop.
Us. Shout out to us.
But we used to go and pick up these $1 pops from McDonald's, and the line was really long that day. We were seriously waiting about a half hour for a $1 pop. We could have just dealt with it.
Yeah.
And we get to the first window where you pay, and they actually ended up giving us the drinks at the first window, so we didn't have to wait for the rest of the line. But we're sitting in there, we're chatting, we're doing our thing, and I feel like we just kind of weren't paying attention to what's going on. You're already in the line, you're just kind of hanging there, and it would have been weird to go out of the line. So you just stick there, and we get to the second window where people get their food, and the girl opens up the window, and she just looks at us with this empty stare in her eyes and whips her head back to the kitchen. She's like, they didn't get food.
They didn't
order food.
Get food.
And she just has this totally lost, fearful expression on her face.
And I was
she has no idea what to do. I'm laughing.
I was sitting there with my drink in my hand, fully expecting to get something else that I didn't order, didn't want,
I think we were just kind of in the rhythm.
It was
when you're in the line, you're just there.
It's like muscle memory,
Exactly.
It's just you go to the next window and you stop and you look and you wait and they hand you something.
Exactly. And so that was great. And then recently we were up in Illinois, and we're with my mom. We're getting her some breakfast or something at McDonald's. All of our stories revolve around McDonald's.
Well, there's one from Taco Bell, but...
Well, we do have one and I have a crazy one from Burger King when we were in LA.
Oh, yeah.
But that was weird. I don't even remember the whole story. I think we may have some of it on video, but I don't know. I don't remember the entire thing. I can tell that one real quick. We're in LA, first time ever to LA, and they had those, what were they? It's like the mac and Cheetos.
Oh, yeah, mac and Cheetos.
Okay, and they were available in LA before, like, anywhere. It was one of their test markets or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, oh, snap, we got to get this. We go up, and we're ordering, and it's another one of those things. Sam is not a very good orderer at fast food. Like, it's her probably number one.
Worst thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the pressure or just like there's so much tension.
There's just so much pressure.
If you try to talk to her or like ask any questions, she just immediately shuts it down.
Or if you have to like add in something you want, I'm like
custom order?
No. I start
She's like checking her heart rate.
I start like hyperventilating.
She raises her voice like 5 octaves. But we get into this Burger King, we're ordering our food, and Sam's kind of laughing. You know, first time in LA, we're having a good time, we're joking around, we've been recording and messing around. And I don't remember what you said or whatever, but you kind of had a little chuckle to it. And the dude, I don't remember his exact words, that's why I think we have it on camera, I'd have to go back. But he was mad.
He like looked at me with like this dead stare.
Like he paused on the speaker. And then when he came back, he had an attitude. And when we got up to the window, he was upset. Like, he looked like we were messing with him. Like, we were playing with him or something.
Yeah, but I was dead serious.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to be anything
we weren't
rude.
Those people, you know, quote unquote.
Yeah, we were being fun, you know, and I don't know what it was.
I don't remember what was happening, but I just remember... That was like the most intimidated by a person I've been in a drive-thru. Like I straight up thought he was like gonna attack us through the window.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a look in his face. Like he let us know via voice. Like the tone in his voice just changed when you laughed.
I don't know.
We'll have to go see if I can find that old footage. That was from a couple
And you
years
gotta
ago.
think, like, I'm already nervous ordering, and then somebody does that, and I'm like,
not gonna be able to order for 3 more months.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then my favorite recent story, we might be able to think of some more, but my favorite recent story, we're in LA with my ma, and we're getting food. We're in Illinois, not LA. We're in Illinois. We pull up to the drive-thru. Sam's grabbing the drink for my mom.
Let me put some context behind this. I was wearing gloves.
It was cold.
And there was snow everywhere, and it was freezing.
Let's keep it 100. It had been very cold, but there wasn't snow on the ground at this moment in time. You had been driving in snow, but the grounds were fine.
Well, no, the snow didn't have anything to do with what happened.
Yeah.
But there was snow everywhere.
It wasn't.
There was snow everywhere.
Let's just say
there was snow
those
everywhere.
reasons are exclusionary to.
I'm from Texas, and I know that there was snow everywhere.
She grabs the drink, both hands, okay? Foot on the brake, no hands on the wheel, and then all of a sudden we just fly forward. She just pumped the gas. So, look, I thought we were in Back to the Future, about to hit 88 and jump, all right? We just floored forward, and she's like, the drink slipped in my hand, and I'm like, what about your foot?
Well, I couldn't grab. So, like, the lady was, like, handing me the drink, and I went to grab it with one hand, and it wouldn't grip because I was wearing the gloves. And so I had to grab it with the other hand, and for some reason, my foot came off the brake.
No, your foot didn't just come off the brake. Your foot hit the gas.
But anyway, we came to like an abrupt stop, like right then. Like it was like really a split second of just jolting, you know, little bit of whiplash.
It was intense. I saw, not only did I see my life, I saw that girl's life fly before her eyes.
She was so scared.
The look on her face.
What's happening?
She was like, this has changed my life.
Yeah.
She put in her 2-week notice. She's gone on to do great things since then. She's like, it could have been it for me. But I'm pretty sure, like, I heard a little bit of R. Kelly for a second. You hit that gas, and I was like, I believe I can fly.
Oh, man.
I would like a hot apple pie. But anyway. But anyway, if you've had any weird or fun fast food stories, let us know. And tweet them to HugKnuckles, tweet them to HottSamn, tweet them to @OVRR Podcast.
That's us as
well. That's us.
I
haven't gone on that Twitter. I probably should to make sure people aren't tweeting us. Yeah. But it's only our second episode. I don't expect a lot of people to be hitting us up on our new social media.
Yeah.
@HugKnuckles, @HottSamn is always a safe bet.
Yeah.
For me.
Faux show.
That's what I said.
Faux show.
But that's a good way to break into it. Let us know what some crazy stories you've had, and maybe if y'all like that, we have more.
Yeah.
We have more, because I have some that are pre-Sam, and I imagine you have some that are before we were together.
Yep.
Maybe it might be new stories for us together.
Do.
But let's get into some of the stuff here that's going on in the news. Bless you.
Thank you.
There's a couple things that have been going on lately. The first thing I want to talk about is something you're...
Sorry.
You're
My
good.
Goodness.
The first thing I want to talk about is something that you're really excited about.
I am so excited.
And I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm kind of excited about it. It's American Idol. It's coming back. I think this Sunday, March
the 11th. I've had this on my calendar for months.
Now, I used to be a huge... Did you watch American Idol previously? I used to be big.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like a big fan, but I watched it like...
I remember watching from season 1. Kelly Clarkson.
I mean, I remember it. I remember watching some of the episodes, but it wasn't like something I watched every week. You know what I mean? Whereas this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to watch it every week.
Well, is it just because of Katy Perry? Or is it...
It's mainly because of Katy Perry, yeah.
Mainly.
I'm just being really honest.
Not because of American Idol, just because of Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Wasn't she on one of those shows before? Didn't she like co-judge or something?
She guested. Judge? She guessed.
Was it American Idol?
It was like Britain's Got Talent with the... it was pre One Direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember her telling them that, you know, they're kind of young. One of them or something that they were kind of too young or something like that. I remember that. So I'm really curious to see how she judges and to see if she's like nice. You know what I mean? Like, is she going to be the Simon or...
The judges that we have right now, it's Katy Perry, Luke Bryant, and Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie, super old school. And actually, Lionel Richie is super old school. And actually is from my hometown.
Yeah. And went to school with your
Joliet,
mom,
Illinois,
right?
And he went to high school with my mom. My mom knew him, quote unquote. Like they weren't like besties or anything, but like she knew them. They had talked. Yeah. There's also another person that was really famous that went to school with my mom, and I always forget her name. But she was like a really famous actress. She was in Carmen Sandiego and
I remember her saying the name. I don't remember it either.
I can't think of her name offhand. But anyway, I'm excited. It's a weird mix. You know, in a good way. It's an eclectic mix of styles of music.
Like country and then Katy Perry's pop. And I don't.
But you gotta think about it. Luke Bryan is very like hip hop kind of country.
Yeah.
Like he's very in the new age of country. It's not like the old school.
He's like the type of country that I wouldn't absolutely hate to listen to.
And then Lionel Richie kind of represents like older pop, like R&B style. You know what I mean? He's got that wisdom of age, you know, and how long he's been in the industry. He's seen everything.
Right. And then, of course, Ryan Seacrest. You can't have American Idol without Ryan Seacrest.
Little known fact, a little trivia, HugKnuckles trivia. My dog, Diva, her full name was Princess Diva McCool -Seacrest, but only during American Idol season.
Yes.
And when American Idol ended the first run, I was like, well, that's it. There's no more -Seacrest. Like, it's just...
But then they came back and it was like,
now it's
Seacrest. You can have
all over again.
Starting on Sunday.
But I kind of stopped watching a few seasons before the end of the show. I was really big in it. Season 1, Season 2, probably like the first 5-6 seasons. Carrie Underwood I was big into.
I love
Kelly Clarkson. Clay Aiken was okay. Ruben Studdard I liked a lot. Fantasia. Like there was a lot of the people that were like really
I know all those people. And then there's like what
was it? Taylor Hicks? Was that his name?
Bo Bice.
Bo Bice.
Yeah.
Did he win?
Yeah.
I don't remember what. I think he was like. Was he in the season with Constantine and people like that?
Kelly Pickler.
When it got into like those middle seasons is when I started like I would watch the auditions and then I would just kind of fade off.
Right.
Because that's the best part of these shows.
Yeah.
The auditions are like, that's...
Pants on the ground, pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
But then you had people like William Hung who would like just have like crazy, you know, they're just so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Or like the people who really believe that they are going to be the next American. Like someone in their life has lied to them.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I wonder why. Like, I wonder why they think they're good. Like, I wonder if it's just the way they hear things.
I could see if they had never been recorded and watched it back or listened to it back. But in the day and age of the internet, you know what I mean? You don't really have that excuse. Know. Like, even before that, I've cassette taped myself singing when I was a little kid.
Whenever I was little, I would, like, sing into, like, a microphone with, like, a little cassette.
You know at that point. It reminds me of Will Ferrell from Step Brothers. Like, when he sings, he's like, you have the voice of an angel. Yeah. But that's my favorite part. There were some people that I would get caught up in their stories, and I'm like, oh, they're cool, and then I'll follow them, and it was legit. Or there were people that were just really interesting. I remember there was this one guy, and I can't remember his name now. It's going to bother me. Who's like a beatboxer. I think his name was Blake or something. And he was like really good. And I was like, oh, that's super. It's different. You know, he does like a beatboxing thing. And,
yeah.
So whenever there was somebody who was super special or stood out, then I'd be like, okay. But it felt like very homogenous. Like it felt like eventually everybody just kind of sounded the same.
Yeah.
You know? And probably the winner that I liked the most out of everybody I can remember. Kelly Clarkson's had like a resurgence. Like,
right.
She's been really good.
Her new music was really, really good.
But Phil Phillips was really good. And he was all over the place. And I actually just read an article about why he hasn't been making music. And I guess there was like some sort of legal battle going on. And he said that the people at Fox, like in the whole setup with the American Idol contract and that, they weren't letting him release the music that he wanted to and stuff like that, so he kind of fell off the map.
Yeah.
But he was in like all his music was in commercials. It was like the soundtrack to like every song or every TV bumper, you know, like they show those little like coming soon trailers and stuff. Like his music was all over the place. And I loved him, and then he disappeared.
Yeah. And I really loved Adam Lambert.
He didn't win though, did he?
I don't know. I don't remember. Like third. But I loved him. I think he still makes music that's pretty popular.
Well, him and Daughtry were both artists that made it really far and then were big after the show. Like, because like Jordan Sparks was another one that I liked a lot. A lot of the winners I do tend to enjoy.
Yeah. Carrie Underwood, I think, is the one that stands out to me the most as being like my favorite.
I don't know. Like
but
I said,
Kelly Clarkson's new thing.
That's what I was saying. Kelly
She's
Clarkson's
kind of coming back up in there.
Coming back really hard. I'm trying to think of who else some of the winners are. Who's the guy we just watched on the Wish Bus?
Oh, David Archuleta.
Yeah, he's really good.
I really liked him. His song Crush back in the day was like my jam.
He's really, really good. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the audition phase. More than anything.
Yes.
And that'll give me a feel for how I like the new judges.
Yeah.
Because
I think the thing I'm most excited about is because, like, I'm a huge Katy Perry fan, and I want to know how she's going to act towards the people who think that they can sing and can't. Like, is she going to be extremely rude and mean, or is she going to be, like, kind about it? You know what I mean? Is she going to be, like, the Simon, or is she going to be the Paula Abdul? You know what I mean?
Well, that's even old school just by judge standards. Right. Because Simon hasn't been on the show. Well, didn't he come back for one season or something? But he was gone forever. Know. He went on to another show. I don't remember because
then
they had J-Lo.
There's like America's Got Talent, and he's on that now. So it's
I get mixed up.
Wait, is it Britain's Got Talent that he's on?
No, he was on another American show. I think it was X Factor or something like that.
I don't know.
I get mixed up between all the shows, to be honest.
Yeah, but I just know that Simon is just known as like kind of the meaner one.
Yeah, but honestly, he hasn't been.
He was on America's Got Talent because of Grace Vanderwall.
Yeah, in the newer, that's what I was actually going to say. In the newer stuff we've seen of him, he's been much more polite, much more understanding.
But he says mean things sometimes, you know
what
I'm saying?
But not like old school American Idol where like he was known.
He was mean.
Yeah, he was known for just crushing people.
Crushing dreams, yes.
Well, and that's what I was just about to say, is that probably half and half, okay? the entertainment factor of the auditions is the people that suck, and then the other half is the way the mean judge, whoever the mean judge is, crushes that person's soul.
Exactly. Well, also, like, knowing, because I know, like, you know, to get on American Idol, they have, like, the audition process, and you actually have to be able to sing good. So I'm like, so in order to actually get to the judges, to audition in front of the judges, the producers and stuff had to have been like, hey, you know what, yeah, we're going to put you through the next round. So I bet it, like, gives them
How is that? Everybody can go line up and go...
No, that's not true. You go line up, and you, like, they go through, like, a series of, like,
interviews,
casting, basically, before you can even get to the judges.
See, I thought everybody that lines up goes in front of the judges.
No, I actually thought that, too, but I've had friends who's auditioned, and you go, and you have to sing. There was one,
Then how
one
all
friend
these
said that
trash
there's,
can
like,
singers make it all the way?
That's what I was...
Because they're good TV?
That's what I was thinking. Like, they must put them through just because they're ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I was like, I should go in there. Like, if I had a good singing voice, which I don't, but I was like, somebody who does should go just make an absolute fool of themselves just to get through. And then when they get in there, just blow it out of the water.
And
because
people are like, oh.
I know people that I believe have excellent singing voices, and they don't even make it to the judges. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like sometimes you just get overlooked.
Well, imagine with how many people are in that. I mean, for those of you who don't know, we've gone through casting for multiple television shows, so I mean, we kind of know how the field gets narrowed and stuff like that. And you know, with how many people are going through the process, it's probably easy to get overlooked.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Well, one girl said that she went in, and it was like a football stadium, and she, like, there was like 10 of them there, and they all sang together. And they just kind of walked by and, like, listened to the voice to see if, like, they could hear a voice was decent.
See, I've never heard that, though, from, like, any of the stuff you read or people saying, like, I never even got to see the judge or anything like that. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expect, though. Like I said, I kind of stopped watching in the last few seasons, and the only reason I'm amped is because they're bringing it back. And I feel like I feel like if Katy Perry was not on the show, like, you wouldn't care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, if you could just go in there and walk in and see the judges, I would have went and auditioned.
Gone to audition.
You get what I'm
just
saying?
To see Katy Perry.
Because they were, like, in Austin. Like, I would have went and done that.
They cast in, like, 10 cities or something, right?
Yeah. I would have went and auditioned just to meet them.
I would not have went and stood in...
I would have just walked in there and been like, hi, I can't sing. I'm just here because I really wanted to say hi to you. So, hi. My name's Samantha.
Yeah, I would not sit in, like... Because some of those people say they stay in those lines for, like, 14, 15 hours.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
I would have slept in a tent.
See, that's the thing. And, I mean, we're kind of going to get out of American Idol here and into another topic here, which is celebrity culture. Like, I would never do that. Yeah. I know you are the type of person who is all about that. And I'm like, I feel like if I ever met a celebrity, I wouldn't want my story to be, I sat here for 15 hours and waited for you. Because, like, if a person sat outside 15 hours to meet us, like, I would feel like, holy crap, like, that was really, really cool that somebody did that. But it'd also be like, that person's not emotionally stable.
Really?
You know what I mean? I'd be like, that
like,
person...
If they just, like, sat outside of our house, I'd be like, all right, you need to get a life.
Well, not just outside our house.
But it's
that's
more
totally
like...
different. But I'm saying anywhere. If somebody stood somewhere for 15 hours just to see us for 5 seconds and not even be a part of what's going on... Like you said, you wouldn't even go in to, like, sing. You would just go there to meet her. Like, I just don't want that to be my story.
Yeah. And we've had this discussion a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's good for...
Because I used to be, like, all like, oh, man, you know, I would do anything, you know. But then you're like, well, one day, whenever you make it, like, bigger in the world and you, like, earn your right to meet her, you're going to have that story. And that's going to be more, like, you know, a normal story instead of just saying, like... after your concert, I stalked you back to your hotel, exactly. You know, like, or something like that. And, which has not been my idea ever.
Like, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Okay? And I've met numerous huge wrestlers. Okay? Including, like, CM Punk, who is one of my favorite pro wrestlers ever. I saw him for the first time when I was 16 before he was ever even... When he was 16, I was, like, 11 before he was ever even big. And then I met the man way after he was world champion and everything, and it was amazing. But every time I would see him, I would just treat him like he was a dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, I know you're this big wrestler guy. What up? I'm a fan. I really enjoy what you do. What's going on? You know, and that's how I would ever want to talk to people. Like, we met Jason D, you know, and Jay Kent when we went to the Philippines. They're, you know, musicians, singers from the Philippines who Jason even won The Voice Philippines, right?
Yeah, I
think it was like 2 years ago or something he won. And I never want to be the person who's like, oh my God, like, you're this... You know, some people treat celebrities like gods. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, being on the receiving end of that was weird for me when we've met fans and stuff. But it's like, it makes me feel... I just wanted them to talk
to me like I was a normal person.
Exactly. What makes me really sad is when people are like, oh, well, I was afraid to come talk to you, or I was too nervous. And I'm like, we're just normal people. And that's why I always want, you know, if I ever meet a celebrity, somebody who is like huge to me... I want it to be just oh my God, like, hey, what's going on, man? How cool that I just ran into you here. Actor or actress I enjoy, you know, YouTuber that I like.
Well, like, whenever I think about it, because, you know, there was a winner of Biggest Loser, like, season 14. Her name is Danny Allen. I was, like, really, like, all about her. And I eventually met her. And I was kind of weird, like... about, you know, like, I would tweet her a lot.
You were
and, like,
obsessed with
I was
her,
obsessed with her,
because
you
of
know,
her story.
Because of her story. Like, it really, like, spoke to me and, you know, all this and that. And, but whenever I actually met her, like, I just talked to her like a normal person, and I was actually shocked that I did that. Like, I didn't go, like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Like, you see people when they meet their idols or whatever, they, like, freak out and cry or whatever. I didn't do that. I just talked to her like a normal person. So, like, I think, like, if I were to ever meet Katy Perry, as much as, like, inside I would be dying and freaking out, I think that I would talk to her like a normal person.
Yeah, but if you sat outside in a line for 15 hours to talk to her for 5 seconds as a normal person, that's not a normal person.
So, like, I don't think I would have actually done that.
I know, but you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just you. I'm talking about celebrity culture in general.
Yeah.
Because honestly...
people do that, though.
A year and a half ago, would you have thought we would be on the receiving end of people waiting in lines to meet us? But we did. We had people waiting in lines to meet us.
And I'm just like, I go home, I take my pants off
like
the same way you do.
I poop just like you do.
And so it is really weird because I wonder if, like, the people like Katy Perry, I wonder if she's like, what about me is so special? You know, like how I feel, you know what I mean?
See, but I fear a lot of celebrities, because people react that way, then come to expect it and are, like, almost entitled by it. Not to say Katy Perry or any specific person.
Right.
But, like, even in the YouTube community, you know, we're relatively small. Okay, 100,000 subscribers seems like a lot to a lot of people, but to us, like, that's just a foot in the door. That essentially means that we're a player at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't even take you seriously unless you have over 100,000 subscribers, that you're even in the YouTube community.
Right.
But it's still, like, super small fry. We don't matter to anybody. But the fact that, like, you know, there was, like, standees of us in the 4th largest mall in the world of, like, people for a meet and greet, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm humbled when we meet people because I'm like, I feel that way. That what is so special about me.
Right.
But then I'm like, I never want to get to the point where you see some celebrities that just, like, walk through these crowds with, like, their head down. It's like, I get it. Like, their time is limited.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. But I feel like there's some celebrities that just hate the fact that they're famous.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot.
I don't ever want to be that way. Like, if I go walk through the mall, like, you know, like, I want to be able to, like, say hi to people, like, a small amount of people, but I don't want to be just, like, jumped by hundreds of people.
Well, and we've talked about that because we actually used Katy Perry as an example. I said I would never want to be Katy Perry famous because she can't just go to a mall. She can't just, like, run up to Whataburger.
Like, wherever like, she goes, she has to have, like, probably, like, bodyguards or...
Exactly.
Like,
well, not even necessarily bodyguards, but doesn't she use costumes?
Yeah, I mean, she, like, wears a hat and she kind of, like, covers it down. Like, you can't really tell it's her, you know?
But even, like, if you watch some of these videos, I'll see people that go to cons and stuff like that, like Comic-Con or whatever, and they'll put on, like, cosplay masks
like Casey
and stuff.
Neistat did that.
There's a lot of people who do it. What is her name? Like, your favorite YouTuber for a while. Liza Koshy. She did that as well. She made a video of her like rushing through one of the conventions. Might have been VidCon or something. She was like wearing a disguise, and she like went through. And it's like, I feel in a weird situation because I want to be where those people are at as far as like having the ability to reach an audience that they do. But it's also, I'm really afraid. I'm a very private person as much as like we put everything out on the internet via podcast or video or whatever, live streams. Yeah. Like,
but it's like when you're home, you want to be like.
Exactly. And I see people that, you know, they have fans that'll like come to their house and like that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like Jake Paul.
Nobody will ever know where we live.
Like Jake Paul has people outside of their house 24/7. Like they talk about how there's kids and parents will bring the kids to the house and I'm just like, I don't know how I would ever deal with that.
Right. And it's like, I wonder if I were to ever, for some weird reason, get Katy Perry famous, if I went to my hometown of like 700 people, would people be normal to me? Could I then go to the store?
See, the thing is, I don't think people would care. Because in your small town of 700 people, I don't think if Katy Perry came to that town, many of the people there would care.
Yeah.
Like, just being for real.
Right.
Because there's certain... That's another thing. Like, if you go to, like, more metropolitan areas, people are more into that celebrity culture stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, where your family lives out in the country and stuff like that, it's more... I think some of the kids, like, if you went to Gatesville, like, if you went by the high school, people go nuts. But if you went to Eddie, I don't think anybody's, like... It's not going to be as, like, a thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And... I feel like it's just a difference also in where you would go and what you're famous for.
Yeah.
Because I think no matter how famous we would ever get, if we ever attain some level of fame, like, my family would be like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like your family would be too. It'd be like, oh yeah, they do that thing, but it's like,
Yeah. It's kind of like what I was saying on Twitter just the other day. I said, you know, there's some things in your life that'll happen that you're so excited for and you're so proud of yourself over, and there's just some people that they could mean the world to you, but they just still won't care. And I think that that's like really, really true, like especially for me, because I'm like, oh man, our channel hit 100,000 subscribers, for instance, and my parents don't know what that means, you know. They don't really care, like reference. Yeah, so it's like, you know, and they mean the world to me. I love my parents, so
I like they had to preface, like, I love my parents, but they didn't.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't want, you know.
Well, really, and that's not what it's about. It's just like people just don't understand. It's subjective. Yeah. It's like victories to you and victories to me are something completely different, which is also one of the very first philosophical conversations we had. Is fame is subjective, and you got so mad. We had this conversation.
Well, because I was like, Katy Perry is famous, and he's like, what was it? To you. Yeah, he's like, to you, and I'm like,
but she is to me too.
Like literally known around the world by many people.
She is to me too, but the thing that I'm saying is, like, if you met CM Punk, you would not give a CM Punk. At all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to me, he was, like, at one point in my life, one of the most influential people in my life. Yeah. If you met The Rock, you'd probably be like, oh, I've seen him in movies. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, oh, he's cool.
No, he's famous.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, are you saying there wouldn't be a difference between if I met The Rock and if you met The Rock?
No, I've seen The Rock in a lot of, like, really good movies.
But
and
what I'm saying is, would there be a difference in what level he is to me and to you? Probably, yeah. Same as Katy Perry. I'd be like, oh, she's really famous. I'd be very excited to meet her. Yeah. But if you met her, you're like, oh, this is the tops. This is, like, the number one. Right. You know? And, like, for my sister, that'd be, like, Madonna. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Bruno Mars.
I feel like everybody has their own subjective idea. Right. Because, like, if we went and met Rusev, I would be like, holy crap, that's freaking, like, Rusev. Yeah. That dude's amazing.
Well, then even, like, when we went to Philippines, people kept saying, like, you're famous here. And I'm just like, well, I'm not famous. I'm not famous. Exactly. And so it's like...
But there's people that tune into our content, and hopefully... if you're listening or watching right now, that is you, that are, like, super, you know, loyal to us, that'll always be there, that'll always support us, that are always the first people to click, they're the notification people, and it's like, to them, like, we're part of their daily lives, and, you know, just like when you put in on a CDK or Katy Perry album, you know, or Katy Perry CD, she's a part of your regular day, right? You know, your regular life. And it's like, so to you, she is a big portion of your life.
Right.
But there's, you know, if I met, other than, what's his name, David Beckham? If I met David Beckham, I'd be like, oh, hey, he's like a famous soccer player. Mm-hmm. Okay? Awesome. I could not name one other soccer player.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But they make millions of dollars. They're like huge celebrities to like millions of people.
Yeah.
Millions of people. It's like the biggest sport in the world is soccer, football,
but it's like,
whatever.
I don't know.
But I couldn't, David Beckham, and I'm not even sure that's his name.
Like, I've heard that name.
David Beckham,
I've heard that name, but I wouldn't have been able to say, oh, yeah, that's that soccer player. I don't know that.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard that name somewhere.
But there's also artists that we'll see. You know, K-pop's a great example. BTS is just now, in the last year or so, started becoming huge in the U.S. and in the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. But they're like mega stars around the world.
Right.
But until a year and a half ago, I'd never even heard of BTS. I'd never heard of half of these K-pop groups.
Right.
And they're mega stars. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of millions of views. You know, they're selling out concerts all over the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, that level of fame to someone else, it's weird. Exactly. It's interesting.
It is very weird.
And that's why
And it kind of like changed a lot of things for me after we had that conversation like 4 years ago, you know? It kind of like changed my perspective on a lot of things.
That was our first philosophical conversation we ever
had. I used
to
get so mad whenever he would like test my brain, you know?
It's not like it was a test. I'm just like, these are the things I think about.
He was testing me.
I'm a firm believer in you treat everybody like you want yourself. You want people to treat you. Treat others like you want to be treated.
Right.
So it's like if I meet people, you know, when we went to the Philippines, I keep bringing that up because we met so many fans in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But when we went to the Philippines, I wanted to make sure every single time somebody came up to us, I would give them as much time as we possibly could to talk.
Right.
While we were there. What is going on in your life? Thank you for watching our channel. You were the reason we're successful.
And there was even one of our meet and greets with Red Ribbon. It was like first 50 people in line can meet us.
Yeah.
And the rest of them would be turned away. And I hated that. You know, I was like, if there's more than 50 people, I want them to be able to meet us. I don't like that, you know, and it made me really upset.
Well, and that's why I talk about, you know, levels of fame and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I hope that we become mega successful. I would never hope to limit my success. But I hope that when we get to whatever point we end up getting to, that we stay in that same mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think you have to keep that humility. You have to stay humble.
Right.
Stay humble. Work hard.
never want to be that person that just like shuns somebody. Like if I impact their day and like I make them happier and they take time out of their day to watch us, like I don't want to just like walk by them. You know what I mean?
I get you.
It's just I hope I'm always like that.
No, I want to get away from that. I feel like we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
What do you think? I want to know, there's a couple things I want to know. Who is your favorite celebrity overall? Like, who would be your The Rock? Because I think The Rock would probably be the most intense celebrity that I would meet.
Right.
Who would that be for you? For you, it would be Katy Perry.
Katy Perry or Pink. I'm like really on this.
Pink is shot up here.
Like Pink and Katy Perry are probably neck and neck for me right now. Like as far as like, you know, because Pink is just so like, she's got great music and she's inspirational. Yeah. So. Speaking
of inspirations, The Mountain is apparently more epic in real life. So if y'all don't know Game of Thrones, you should watch it.
Yes, you should.
Because it's amazing. But there's this character called The Mountain. His real name is like Hafthor Bjornsson, I think. And he recently came out #1 in the Arnold Classic. So overall point-wise, he took it. This dude, if you watch Game of Thrones, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's very destructive.
Yes.
He's just, the Mountain suits him well. He is a giant, muscular, just looks like what a half god would look like in the old Greco-Roman times or whatever.
Yes.
But I had told you about a story probably a year or more ago.
That was a while back.
It was like an old Norse myth or something about this god. It might have been Thor himself who lifted this giant log that had weighed a certain amount, and he did it. He recreated the myth, and it's like he literally lifted something and did a legendary feat of strength that was literally written that a god had done it.
Right.
So it's, how do you top that? How are you cooler than the mythical character? You know what I mean?
It's like his name is Hafthor, but it's like he's like double Thor.
Yeah.
Double Thor.
So the reason that everybody's talking about him right now, though, is, like I said, he took the top spot in the Arnold Classic, which is a big, like, weightlifting, bodybuilding expo every year. And he took the world record for deadlifting.
Which is
without
crazy.
A suit.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Without a suit. Now, as a former powerlifter yourself, Texas State champion powerlifter, stars in outer big brain. You know more than I do how intense of a feat this is. He lifted over 1,000 pounds, 1,041 pounds to be exact, without the aid of a lifting suit, and apparently he wasn't even wearing shoes. Straight up, over 1,000. That's over a half a ton.
Yeah.
That he straight deadlifted to take the new world record.
I don't know how he did that. Whenever I watch him do it, like, I can, like, feel that feeling that you get in your stomach when you deadlift. That's kind of like, it's like a pain in your stomach that, like, you feel like you're going to throw up, kind of, whenever it's really heavy. Yeah. And I'm like, I got that from, like, almost 400 pounds. If I were to, like, more than double that, I don't know how he's not, like, puking, honestly.
According to this article from The Sun, what is 1,041 pounds the equivalent of lifting? 1 grand piano.
Wow.
You could just straight deadlift a piano. 3 adult male panda bears. That's just adorable.
It's so random.
That's adorable. Yeah. I would pay to watch him lift 3 adult male panda bears. 350,000 paper clips.
That's so random.
This one's the weird. Well, let's get into the weirdest one last. 70 bowling balls, which doesn't seem like very much.
That seems like a pretty good amount. Because bowling ball's pretty heavy. Also, what size of a bowling ball?
That's what I'm saying. Like, bowling balls like range from like 7 pounds to, I don't know what the maximum size bowling ball is. Yeah. But it just, compared to like 3 male adult pandas, 70 bowling balls just doesn't sound like a lot. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? 1,500 human hearts. I don't know why that's a unit of measurement.
Where would you get those? Where would you get those?
I don't know who was like, you know what? Human hearts would be a good one to match us up with.
And what if they're like enlarged hearts, you know?
I don't know.
What if they weigh a little bit more?
I feel like this is just a catch as catch can. But the other thing that I had actually watched a video, we watched it, he had thrown a 56-pound weight over a 20 foot bar. Insane. And you were worried while we were watching. He's like, how does that not hit him in the head?
Because he, like, flings it over his back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, that's easier than what I thought. Whenever we were going into it, I first heard about it, I thought maybe he, like, chunked it like kind of like a shot put or something. Which I'm like, there's no way. But then since he flung it over his, like, grandma, like, granny shot in a basketball kind of.
Granny shot? I've never seen a grandmother shoot a basketball over the shoulder behind her back.
Well, you know, granny
How
shot
is that the
like
granny shot?
A backwards granny shot.
That's like
it's a backwards granny shot. I'm
trying to figure out whose grandmother. Maybe in Texas that's a granny shot.
It's Hafthor's grandmother. That's where he got it from.
Exactly. The other thing was that he's only 29.
Wow.
He's doing this at only 29. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? This
also,
dude's
I
lifting
love that
over
he's like
1,000
barefoot.
pounds.
Whenever I used to lift, I would lift in, what are they? I just said them the other day. It was Chuck Taylor's Converse.
Yeah, Converse.
And because that was like the flattest thing. Like, it's much easier if you're like flat on the ground. And they wouldn't let us go barefoot, so.
Well, I think that just makes it so much cooler, to me at least. Like, he's not even wearing a suit. It's just like he just walked up to something on the street. Like, oh, that looks heavy. Let me lift this. You know, like, that looks like that could maybe blow a turd out. You know, like,
for real though, people,
how do people not
this.
poop?
Well, some people do, and some people like shit out all their intestines.
Well, I was gonna say,
like,
I've heard that. That's like you pop the ring or whatever, and like stuff comes out. I like how you put that. Like, they shit out all their intestines.
Well, like, the thing is without the suit, it is pretty dangerous because that can happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's just beyond.
Yeah.
He's beyond human.
He must have a tight butthole. He's just like squeezing it, so it's like, I can't lose my intestines.
Episode 3 of the OverREACTing Podcast. How tight is your butthole? Let's talk about it.
Yes.
I just, like I was telling Sam though before we were looking over this article, we were talking about what he had done, and I'm like, how is it possible though to be cooler than a character you play in Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible?
If they made him that
do
cool,
more intense stuff in real life than the crazy stuff he does in Game of Thrones.
Right.
No spoilers here.
Yeah.
But you need to go watch it, and you should also go check out the footage of him doing his lifts because it's pretty intense.
It is.
We kind of went a little longer than I expected with this stuff. I like this. I like just being able to talk though and doing whatever.
Yeah.
So we have a couple other things we can talk about though. We can move that into next week though. I do want to talk about ASMR.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that next week.
Right.
In the next episode.
Next episode.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready for the hot seat?
I don't know that I'm ready.
It's
but
the HOTT seat.
HOTT seat. So, we reached out on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, all of our outlets. YouTube, Facebook. I don't know what I haven't said yet. And have asked for questions for Sam to ask me. We had a couple come through. And then I think Sam had some of her own that she was going to get to. Maybe we'll get to these ones a little later.
Oh,
Open
okay.
up with Sam's first. She's like, oh.
All right, well, let me start out like what you did with me, where you just said, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Josh. I like short walks that aren't walks on the not beach.
What? I love beach walks. Those are the best.
I don't know. See, okay, as a fat dude, walking on a beach is not very cool because there used to be this beach that I go to in Michigan, and you walk down this like sand dune to get onto the beach. There's not like a staircase, but then you can't get back up off of the beach. It hurts
your calves and stuff.
It wasn't that. I literally just couldn't get back up off the beach. I had to walk down the beach until I found a staircase. Because when I'd go to walk up the dune, the sand would just come down as I went to step.
Aww.
And I literally couldn't get back up off the beach. I was heavier than that. But I had to walk down the beach until I found somebody who had like a beach house that they had steps. So I could walk up the steps to get off the beach. So I was stranded on a beach for a short time.
Really nice.
Okay, so do you just want to know, like, what should I say? I'm trying to think of what should I start with.
I talked about, you know, like kind of like what I did in high school, and I know that you were involved in like ROTC in high school. So
I was in JROTC. Well, first, I guess the coolest thing about me when I was a kid was actually when I was born with like some weird underdeveloped lung thing or something. I was born blue. I looked like a Smurf.
Oh, nice.
And they had to rush me to a children's hospital in Chicago. While I was en route, my ambulance was hit by what I was told was an inebriated driver. I'm not sure the validity of that story. But my ambulance was hit by a dude in a truck, like a semi-truck. And it was like bad. And then they further needed to rush me to the children's hospital. But, you know, I survived.
You survived.
I did. In case you didn't know, I survived that.
I'm very glad.
But that's like a cool story. I guess that's a little bit different.
So were you like in the hospital as like a baby for a long time?
My mom didn't see me for a little bit. My grandma Wendy held me before my mom did because of everything that went down. I think I was in the hospital for a couple weeks.
Wow.
When I was first born. I don't really remember.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, a little before my memory. I moved around a lot as a kid. My dad was a journeyman mechanic, so he was actually in the military. He lived in Germany for a couple of years in the military, and he was an engineer, so he learned a lot about mechanics. When he came out, he was a diesel mechanic. He was a diesel mechanic for a long time. We lived in like 5 states in 2 years. I actually lived in Texas for a short time too. And then I moved back to my hometown and didn't do much. Like I wasn't as involved. Like in high school, you were very involved in like band and, you know, whatever.
Right.
I was in JROTC from my freshman year throughout halfway through my senior year. I actually ended up leaving my senior year. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. I actually wanted to go into the military, and I think the reason that I dropped out, that I went to gym out of JROTC, was because I wasn't going to be able to go into the military, and it like bothered me.
Right.
Because I was too big. I hadn't lost enough weight to enlist.
Right.
But like my family, I come from a long line military family. That's actually my dad's flag from my dad passed in January. But like my dad, my grandfather, my uncles on both sides, my great grandfathers, like everybody, any like major war that was like from my dad's age or older, like
right.
World War I, II, Civil War, Revolutionary War, all of them.
Yeah.
My grandfather fought in the Korean War,
which we had done a little bit of like Ancestry.com, so we found all those records.
Well, I knew that I had ancestors that fought in World War II, but I didn't know about World War I. I didn't know about the Civil War, and they all fought for the North.
Right, of course.
Not like everybody we know here. And then Revolutionary
Gosh,
War.
just throw me out there. My family's from the South, so you know what? Whatever.
I just want people to know that they fought for the Union.
That doesn't mean anything for me.
I just want people to know my family fought for the Union. Winning. We won. Yeah. I don't know. In high school, like, I was into some clubs and stuff. I didn't really take school seriously. I'm not a big believer in public school.
Right.
I'm not really a big believer in private school either. I mean, I think any type of...
you would like to, like, homeschool children, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of what kids learn comes from their parents and their environment. Like, I feel like I learned a lot more from my friends, my environment, and, like, TV. Than I ever did in school.
Right.
Like, I learned how to write and stuff like that. You know, things that are important, like staples.
Yeah.
But as far as like learning how to think for myself, how to figure out and solve problems, like a lot of that I learned just from life. And I feel like a lot of things in school, you know, once I learn how to do something, let's say math, for instance, once I figure out a formula or how to you know, solve an equation, things like that. I hated having to like do that same thing for like 2 weeks,
right?
Until we moved into the next step of the class, and like I always felt like it was annoying.
Right.
Whenever, you know, I would write papers, like I really enjoyed writing papers. I actually thought about being an English major in college, but whenever it got to like the technical
like
intricacies, you know, of that type of stuff, it annoyed me. And so I've just never been a big fan of public school or.
Right.
I don't know. I think nowadays it's getting better because, you know, my nephews and stuff, they have a lot more, I guess, variety in what's available. Like, even you were telling me some of the classes that were available in your high school were much more efficient or much more useful in real life. You know, they have coding classes and stuff like that now. And I feel like nothing I really learned was super helpful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, what was your favorite subject? Like, was it English?
I would probably say English was my favorite subject. Like, well, in high school or just all throughout my life?
In high school.
In high school, drama was my favorite subject.
Really?
I would do improv and stuff like that, and I loved it. It was my favorite thing. I was actually a runner. You could only do 2 years of drama, and then they didn't offer it after that. So my third year, I actually became a runner for drama. It's weird for me because I'm like so far removed from my high school, but like our age difference, like you're not as far removed, so I'm like, this is
like in college, what was your favorite? Was it creative writing?
That's a tough one because I took a lot of elective classes. Probably the one that was the most, that meant the most to me, there was two that I can think of offhand. It was an advertising class and a marketing class. The advertising class I took, the guy had worked for like really big companies. Like he'd done big deals with like Coca-Cola, and he had worked in the ad industry for like 40 years. Like if you ever seen the show Mad Men, like he would have been like that dude. It's just hearing his stories, and that's what I enjoy, especially about college. There's some professors that their life is what they teach instead of just somebody who knows a lot about the subject. Yeah. And so just hearing his stories and about like going out there and getting it, it was very like entrepreneurial. And then our marketing class, while we were in there, the guy was closing like $1 million deals. You know, like in his day job, you know, he had closed a contract with the Sears Tower, Willis Tower. And it was like, that's a huge thing to me. And it's like, the fact that that guy who's closing $1 million deal was teaching me, I was like, holy crap. Yeah. But anything really I could use my creativity. Creative writing was cool. I liked the teacher.
Right. And then creative writing also led you to get poems published into the school's little creative writing
We took
book.
a creative writing class together because, like I said, I was planning on becoming an English major. So I was like, hey, I was taking any kind of writing or whatever classes we could. Because I also like to write screenplays, comedy, stuff like that. And I don't really do it as much anymore. And I figured it would give us a reason to write. And you got really interested.
Oh, it
we ended up doing it together.
Changed like me, you know?
Well, and the teacher was great. Nick Webb was the name of the guy. And I started writing poetry. I had written poetry a long time ago. I've written poetry since I was a young kid. And actually there was a poem from my parents' old house that I'd written on this chalkboard that they've kept for years. I think I wrote it like freaking like 15 years ago. Yeah. And they still have it.
That's cute.
But he had us, actually breaking down these poems and stuff, and then we would write our own. And it was really interesting. I never really put much thought behind it. It was just something I did because it was like, oh, I like music, and poetry is like an expressive form. Like I feel like rap music is like poetry.
Right. Me too.
And once we started writing these, he's like, oh, these are really good. You should submit these to Stone Circle, which is the school liberal arts magazine. And I actually won first prize. I won some cash.
Yeah.
I've been...
They still owe you $30.
$35.
Oh.
But no, I won $100 for the one that got first place. And then the second time I entered, I got third place. But they published in total, like probably like 20 of my poems.
Yeah. And photos also. Yeah.
Sam actually got photo in the Stone Circle. Didn't you win?
I never won.
I don't remember what it was.
I did get a couple of photos in there though.
You got your poems published as well.
Yeah. I was always really excited to see like our stuff in there,
It was really cool. And I actually did a poetry blog for a while that people were into and stuff like that. And I would put like a photo with it and a daily post.
Is that something you miss doing? Is making the website?
I do, but honestly, I just thought I would never make like any money doing it. Like I didn't think I could do it as a job, as a career. Whereas like YouTube, I've always firmly believed that you could, if you put the time and effort in, if you actually like put yourself out there, like it can be a job. I've seen people, make it from nothing to something on YouTube, and I've always wanted to work and be in the entertainment industry. And like poetry is entertaining, but it's a different thing. It's like, it's a way. It's a very separate, private thing. Like, here's my stuff. Let me... Yeah. Like, I would want to be away from it. It's art on its own. Whereas, like, what we do now, like, we can make a vlog. We can make this. We can just talk. We can post whatever we want. It's like a fresh canvas every single time that we post a video. It can be whatever.
So, like, combining the two, like, your joy of writing and your joy of making YouTube videos, I know you're into screenwriting, you just said. Have you ever thought about taking ideas for like short stories that you have and making that come to life for a YouTube video?
We've talked about this before, like actually going and filming some of the short story ideas that I've had, but I just don't know how it would fit with the type of content we make. Like it would be so far different from everything else that we post that I think it would have to be like something on its own. Right. You know what I mean? And I would be open to doing something like that. And I have a lot of like short stories or skits and things that I think would be really interesting, but it would have to be something that was separate from what we do now. And I feel like it's easy to make excuses, but we always are doing something. We have 2 channels now. One's almost at 10,000. The other one's at like 115,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I feel like either we're always recording something or we're always behind schedule on something. Because, I mean, I really have been wanting to launch this podcast for a super long time. I really enjoyed live streaming on Twitch, and I wish I could go back and do that. I loved streaming games, and eventually I'd like to make this live. Right.
So you enjoy all this to where you don't miss writing and creating like that kind of thing, like, or is it something that you miss?
It is something I miss. Like, it's definitely something I miss, but I don't feel like I am... If I wasn't doing the YouTube thing, then I would regret more that I don't write. Right. But I'm actually doing something that is what I
you
want to do.
So you feel productive.
Exactly. Like, if I was you know, back in my retail days, working 9 to 5, working retail, coming home and just playing video games and not doing anything else, then I would be regretful. But like, I'm living the dream. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I've always wanted to be an entertainer. You know, we post these videos. We have so many people that, you know, thankfully watch and give us feedback. And it feels like we have this extended family out there that I'm connected to now. And like I said, when I wrote, it was a very private, individual thing. It, you know, you're not really connected to anybody. Like, yeah, if I ever sold a screenplay or something and made a movie, there would be a large connection there. Yeah. And I like the idea of like how John Green did. You know, he had his books that he wrote while he was also doing YouTube, and they became, you know, movies. It's like, yeah, it's something I would not rule out that I would ever go back to writing. But I just have so many goals and aspirations that are on the video side of things now. Like, if anything, I would launch more channels for other things I want to do. There's one channel that I started called It's Hugs. And I posted like 2 videos ever. But it was a really cool concept. I really enjoyed it. It's me just sitting in front of a camera, kind of doing what we do in the podcast, but just me picking a topic, what I'm thinking about that day, and just going off about it. And I've always wanted to come back to that. And if there's anything I regret, it's going away from that. Right.
Do you find it harder to make videos on your own than with both of us?
Reaction videos, yeah. But like the actual, like the videos that I would make for that channel, it's more the time that I would use doing that. If we're both around, I feel like we could be doing something productive for our channels together. Right. So it's not necessarily harder to make those videos, but I don't like making reaction videos without you, because I feel like we each bring our own thing to the table. Right. You know, the way that goes.
I think I feel the same way as far as that goes. So what, like, out of everything we've reacted to, what's been your favorite thing as far as TV reactions from HugSamn?
From HugSamn? Like, favorite episode or favorite show?
And I'm getting into some of the questions that were asked on Twitter now. Okay. So, yeah, so if out of everything that we've watched on HugSamn, what's your favorite?
Well, I kind of have to break it down, because I'll have to do, like, favorite show, favorite moment. Okay. Because I think they're probably going to be different. Because right now, my favorite show is My Hero, because of what it represents. I love, and I think a lot of people do, a good underdog story. Yeah. I always want the kid who didn't think he could be the hero to be the hero. Because, like, when we went back home, I was talking, my mom was selling my dad's van, and I was talking to a guy there, and I'm like, I'm just some, you know, kid who grew up poor in Joliet. Like, and now I've traveled the world. I have my dream job. Like, it's not like we're sitting here, like, making buckets of money, you know, like, super successful. Yeah. But we can pay our rent. Right. You know, we can pay our bills. And it's like, and we get to travel. And we get to meet people. And we have, you know, a community that loves us and supports us. And it's like, that show touches that part of me. It's like, this is just some kid who had nothing. He didn't even have a quirk in his world. Like, the My Hero Academia world, essentially 80% of people have some sort of quirk or power. They're not necessarily all amazing. Yeah. But the main character of the show, the whole crux of the show, is that he was born without a quirk. He is not a hero. And in the first couple episodes, you come to learn, you know, that he's an underdog fighting to become a hero. And that speaks to me, because I felt like, you know, I grew up in a house that we didn't have a lot as a kid. You know, maybe the electricity was turned off here and there and stuff like that, and hot water was turned off. And I didn't know that I would ever be able to make it to
where anything. You are now.
Yeah, to become my version of a hero, which is somebody who has an audience on the internet and can affect, hopefully, positive change through my attitude. Right. So that would be my favorite show. My favorite moment, which is another kind of, it's not necessarily an underdog story, but it's Attack on Titan. And I'm going to try to do this in the least spoilery way, where a certain character is captured by a Titan via its mouth. And he is leading people into battle, and as he gets captured, he's like about to get eaten, as you would think, and he's still crying out for his people to advance, to keep fighting, to keep going in. And that's like, no matter what we see ever, I don't think anything will ever beat that moment, just because it means so much to me as a person who believes in the mindset of always keep fighting no matter what's against you.
Right.
Like, something that just spoke to me of, like, this dude's about to get eaten, this dude's, you know, life is about to be over, and he's just thinking about, like, keep fighting, keep going. Like, that's just a huge thing.
That is really cool. I love that moment, too. All right, let me get on to another question that was asked. All right, so what is your, this is just a me question, what is your top favorite 3 shows that are like feel-good shows? Stuff that we don't react to on the channels at all, just stuff that we watch together.
Top 3 feel-good shows. That's going to be tough, but The Office is number 1. I have The Office on repeat. I've probably watched that entire series more than 50 times. Yeah. We watch the same episodes over and over. If it's nighttime and we're like up in bed, like I'll just turn it on to go to sleep to you. Like it is always on. If y'all watch Casey Neistat, he's like always got The Godfather and stuff on in the background, and I feel like that's what my life is. I just have The Office going on in the background. But the next 2 are gonna be hard because I want to say Parks and Rec, because I love. Not only do I love Parks and Recreation as a show, as like a complete work, but I love all of the individual people that are on the show, like Amy Poehler, Chris Pratt, Nick Offerman, also from my neck of the woods, right next to my hometown. Like, and Aziz Ansari, you know, there's all these people, Rashida Jones, all the different people in the cast that I'm like, I love them, you know, individually. Aubrey Plaza, like, I'm a huge fan of Aubrey Plaza. Right. But, so I would say that show's definitely has to be number 2 to The Office. Number 3, I don't know. Like, we're watching New Girl right now, and I love that show, and I'm pretty sure it's up there. But How I Met Your Mother's really good. I don't watch that as much because you've never seen it, and I don't want to just be watching it all the time unless I can get you to watch it. Yeah.
We really like This Is Us and The Good Doctor, too.
Yeah, but those aren't feel-good shows.
Those are more just shows. Like, let's cry together. Yeah.
This Is Us makes me sad more than anything. But it's a great show. It's a well-written show.
I would say right now you really like New Girl.
Yeah, but Happy Endings was really good. I tried to get you into that, but you hadn't watched that yet. I'm trying to think of what else I'd watch. Arrested Development's really good. Seinfeld's really good.
We were rewatching Seinfeld a lot for a while.
I don't know. It's so hard because once you give the 3rd spot away, it's like final. Yes, you know what I mean? Yes. Once the first 2 spots are so easy to fill, but that 3rd spot, it's like, oh, I can't put anything else in there. But just for right now, because of what we're watching, I'm gonna say New Girl because that's my hotness right now. Yeah.
Awesome. So another question that was asked by your friend Casey was, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. So other than being a YouTube creator, what is your dream job?
Professional wrestler.
Professional wrestler.
Or something in the professional wrestling industry. If I could have a cool job, like I'm gonna give you my cool job option and my regular job option. My cool job option would be anything in the pro wrestling industry, whether it be a wrestler, a manager, an announcer, anything. Just something in the WWE, ROH, one of the bigger companies, New Japan, any one of those where I could be a part of like the hotness that's happening in pro wrestling right now. My normal job, if I had to pick a normal job, would be probably like an internet security person. Yeah. Cybersecurity. Something like that.
Baller.
I think it's cool.
Cool.
White hat hacking and stuff like that.
Yes. Another question that was asked by Michael Rutherford was, who's your favorite Ruby character?
My favorite? I would probably say Nora.
Nora?
That never changes for me. Nora.
Yeah. I think that was his question. It was either what is your favorite character, so we'll then ask this. If you could relate to a Ruby character, who would you be?
Well, I was just about to say, like, that's who I would relate to would be Nora.
Right.
Because, like, you see her story, and it's a really sad story, especially when you look into, like, the Renora stuff. When they meet and everything that happens there. Yeah. But, like, she's always got a smile on her face. She always stays positive. She always is, like, ready to get into action.
She loves pancakes.
Yeah, and she's very upbeat. I just love her.
Cracks a joke in, like, the randomest moments.
I love her personality in the wake of what her life probably was. Right. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So you want to do a lightning round now?
Sure.
All right. Favorite color?
Purple or pink.
Purple or pink?
Yeah. Depends on the day.
All right. Favorite animal?
Panda.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like cat or dogs.
Oh, no, panda.
Awesome.
Well, there's okay, you could say favorite domesticated animal that you would have.
Favorite domesticated animal that you have.
Yeah, like, because you say favorite color, it's not like I can only pick red, green, or blue. Like, I'm outside the box.
Favorite superhero?
Which one of the 3 animals we have is your favorite? That's basically like asking me that, you know?
Favorite superhero Marvel?
See, I think it changes all the time, but right now, I really want to go back and read Spider-Man again. Like, I want to get back into Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man was one of my biggest influences in the comic world. But like Captain America, Iron Man, like,
yeah.
How do you pick?
Do you want to just say the Avengers?
From the Marvel comics, I would say right now I want to get back into Spider-Man. From the Marvel universe, like MCU, nobody beats Iron Man. Like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Like, you can't beat it. Like, that's the best to me.
Yes.
Now, DC
was my next
comic
question.
book-wise, Green Lantern, the movie was trash. And then DC Universe movies, we're not really caught up. So I can't really...
Yeah.
The Christopher Nolan Batman.
But you really like Aquaman.
I love Aquaman.
Yeah.
I love
Curious
Aquaman.
to see what the movie's like.
Green Lantern and Aquaman, Jeff Johns, anything that he wrote, the best.
Awesome.
Is it hard? Is it hard?
Yeah, let's see. Another hot question. Favorite food?
Right now or all time?
All time.
It's a toss-up between, like, Portillo's Italian beef and a gyro from any greasy gyro shop. Anywhere that has the greasiest gyro.
Alright.
Because I love gyros. And neither of those are very easy to find around here.
Awesome. And then name one thing this week that you've done that's made yourself really proud.
Getting caught up on recording for Hugs and Sam, but we're still way behind for HugKnuckles TV. Awesome. I don't know. What have I done this week?
You ate a salad.
I ate a salad. I never ate salads before in my life, and now I've had like 3.
Yeah.
And I'm about to eat another one today, probably.
Yeah. You lost like 8 more pounds.
Oh yeah, I lost 8 pounds this week.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's, just...
I was like hoping you would like kind of like...
It all blends together.
You know, brag.
It all blends together. Okay. I don't even know.
Awesome. Well...
Is that all you got for me?
I think that's pretty much all.
I think that works. We're over an hour. We're shooting for an hour or a little longer in each one of these videos. I think eventually I'd like to get to where in the 2-3 hour range for like regular podcasts, more like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But right now I think it's better to keep it a little on the shorter side until we really figure out everything we want to talk about and we get some guests on the show. We're thinking about having adobo sandwich on the next episode. I don't know if that's going to work out or not. We'll have to reach out to them. So not sure who our week 3 guest is going to be, but if we can lock somebody down, hopefully next episode will be our first one with a legit not us guest.
Yes. Just keep an eye on all of our social medias and we will have the announcement.
At HottSamn, at OverREACting Podcast.
Twitter.
Thanks for listening, /watching, everything. Well, it's everything. It's
yeah,
Instagram,
but I'm not going to post on Instagram that we're having a guest on.
Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it big. Let's overreact to
okay, well,
guest.
It'll be on OverREACting Podcast's Instagram, not HottSam's Instagram.
Sam. That's Sam. All right. Yeah. Make sure, don't forget to tweet us your crazy fast food restaurant extravaganzas.
Yes.
I want to know those because I want to talk about them on the next podcast.
And use hashtag OVRR.
Hashtag OVRR.
Hashtag OVRR. That way we can go look at all of them.
Shout out to everybody who actually made it this far. Thank y'all for listening. Without you guys, we would not be doing this at all, and I'd be very, very sad.
Yes.
So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting us, and we'll be back next week.
Bye.